As an Irish Doctor Who fan, I've been pretty annoyed since October 25th, 2022, because that's when the BBC announced their distribution deal with Disney+. And what was said was, the BBC and Disney-branded television will deliver this quintessentially British show to future generations on an unprecedented scale, with Disney+ as the exclusive home for new seasons of Doctor Who outside the UK and Ireland. There was general repetition of this point through the rest of the article, but Ireland was not really mentioned again by any of the people who gave quotes. I understand why they don't want to focus on one tiny country in particular as part of this press release, especially considering it wasn't good news, but I just kind of felt lost?
No, you're being melodramatic.
This is a really exciting deal that would bring Doctor Who to so many more people than maybe ever before, but not to anyone I could show it to, which meant I and other Irish fans, if there are any, hello, anybody out there, had to go on enjoying the show in our solitary way, making sure to be there, tuned to BBC One for our first and last chance to see the episodes before they came out on Blu-ray or were repeated on BBC Three the next day. Really, this wasn't too much of a departure from what I was already familiar with, but it was a bit sorer knowing that around the world people could watch it again at their own leisure. That is, until February 2nd, 2024, and the 4 new era specials are dropped in almost the absolutely quietest way possible on the RTE player. For the uninitiated, the RTE player is the catch-up app of our national broadcaster. I came across these the next day, being one of a few people in my generation to have the RTE player on their phone. One of my friends was with me.
Well, I was just doing my own thing when all of a sudden I heard Alex next to me start swearing in disbelief many times. I assumed he had just found out that his house was being robbed or something like that, but it was actually just Doctor Who suddenly coming to RTE. I was surprised myself, if I'm being honest. There had never really been a good way to watch Doctor Who in Ireland, so it was a rather pleasant surprise. Well, for me, not for him. I think he was about to have a stroke. Anyway, RTE isn't exactly the best streaming service out there, but it's cheaper than buying the box sets, which, by the way, Alex still hasn't watched all the ones he bought.
You see, the RTE player is renowned for its deficiencies. Its selection isn't the broadest, you can't set up an account, it can be pretty bad at streaming things live, you can't download shows, and maybe most crucially, there's no way to not have ads. You can't pay for it. Whatever about the player, it's still brilliant to finally feel a bit more in line with the rest of the world. Even if there's still no result for Ireland on the Doctor Who website, RTE bafflingly refers to the specials as Season 23, and the one and only statement they've made about the acquisition was in response to someone on Twitter asking, still no access to library of previous seasons? Which I thought was a bit ungrateful, considering the iPlayer is the only place that has both these new episodes and the previous seasons, and the still implying that this had been an issue for a long time when they had appeared earlier that day. The RTE Player account's tweet read, "At present, we don't have plans to publish any more Doctor Who programs, but we have made note of your request." Well. As someone else pointed out, this explains the lack of any announcement, but it would also be strange to buy these 4 shows exclusively for your catch-up service, which people don't enjoy using, 3 months after they've aired on a channel people can also watch in your country, and that be it. The only place this did get any publicity was on Radio Free Scarrow.
Hey, exciting news for the people of Ireland. Doctor Who has been added to the RTE player, which is great news. Hooray. That's superb.
After they had previously noted the plight of Irish fans in November.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't even looked to see how Irish folks got on with trying to watch the thing, because they don't have access to it.
They don't have access to it. They are out to lunch.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, England.
Ireland,
Enough.
yeah.
Yes,
that sounds like a decision
Ireland,
made by somebody much like the Roth Warriors. Oh, no, we won't be transmitting
I
that.
know. It's just tragic. So our hearts out to you, Ireland.
Personally, I hope they keep going with this deal, as they're maybe the only broadcaster in the world who can buy Doctor Who now. And having the new series be broadcast on an RTE channel, while not major, because as with many other countries, linear TV is being left behind, would definitely create some sort of Irish following. It could also be seen as redundant when the BBC are showing them at the exact same time, or maybe beforehand, but I would argue it's better than playing whatever kids movie they bought that week for most of Saturday evening. So maybe the player will just be a resource for people in Ireland who are fans of Doctor Who already, and that's fine. But the only way this will come to be is if there's a decent response to what's there now. And despite how critical I've been in this video of the RTE player, I'll use it if it has Shooty's series. If you're Irish, I've got a link in the description to the RTE player's Doctor Who page, why don't you rewatch The Church on Ruby Road? That Goblin King is really, really menacing. And if somehow somebody from RTE's program buying department is watching, I dare you to become the first streaming service in the world to host Dimensions in Time.